So, good afternoon, Mr. Kim.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for having us over here at the launch of the new Elantra. What's your hopes for the car?
I think that car has been the best performer in our product range. So this car, we put all our passion for our Middle East and Africa region customers, and should be very very successful. Hope to be liked by all the customers in this region.
For comparison, can you give us some idea of how the previous Elantra has fared in this region?
I think a previous one has been the driving engine of success in the brand in this region, Middle East and Africa, and so the new one should inherit that good heritage and take it to another level.
Yeah. Along with the Elantra, you now have a clutch of models which are like at the cutting edge of the industry. But you are entering a rather tough year in the region. How do you think that this model lineup that you have will fare in the region during 2016?
I think luckily we have a full lineup in our portfolio, so I think we can meet all the demand of all customers. And this year will be definitely very tough year, but we believe there are opportunities as well. So in the past, good product line and good demand, that's enough to create our the sales, and we could have been growing all the way. And this year we need a more the creative way of thinking, and we should tap into the market or opportunities we've never been explored in the past. So my colleagues are working very hard to locate where are the opportunities we've never been to.
Okay. Would these also include avenues like moving into financial services or a financial backup to your products, so to enable customers in the region to take a chance even in a risky purchasing environment?
Yeah, we are working on it, and we have the financial arm in the group. So we asked them to study, but it will take some time to bring in. But in the meantime, our partners in each country, they are very sound in terms of financial capability, and they have their own the arms to facilitate the consumers' need. Mm-hmm. So we just rely on them and we're gonna support them to execute the right the financial services for the customers.
During this year, many of your outlets in the region are also switching over to your new corporate identity guidelines and investment in new facilities. Do you see any slackening of the pace of investments on the ground during 2016?
Slackening.
I mean, do you think people will put off expenditures and put off investment in facilities for some time?
I think we have been promoting a new CI very strongly, but now we slow down, knowing the financial the difficulties in the region. So we try to have some more rooms to breathe, and but we're gonna the facility issue is very important in terms of customer satisfaction. And their experience in our showroom is very important for the satisfaction. So we're going to keep moving, right? But to some extent, so knowing the environment is getting more tougher, we're gonna tune our speed,
Okay.
the acceleration.
Slightly off topic here. What do you see happening in the region for the Genesis the thrust that you have in terms of the luxury branding?
Genesis brand will be launched this year in this region, and when it comes to the luxury car lineup of our Centennial and Genesis, Middle East has been the key market for us. So this market, we're gonna launch in a very professional way and a very effective way, and we're gonna come into the customer's mind who want to be very intelligent buyer. So the big challenge is there with the new brand, but up until now, that brand has been very successfully penetrated into the people's mind. Even all the medias are very welcoming that initiative from HMC, the Hyundai Motor Company. So we're gonna be in line with that strategy, and we firmly believe so we can be very successful, knowing the popularity of our Genesis.
Are you at start looking at any specific market share in terms of the luxury segment?
I think the current Genesis model, we are relatively good in performance.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very difficult to put the market share up front, but I think we're gonna working on the marketing strategy, how we can buy in people's mind. So when everything is substantiated, right, we can communicate that more to you. But the brand is definitely coming, and Middle East is one of the key market for that brand.
Okay.
And we're gonna improve all our showroom facilities to give a more luxurious experience to our customers.
Okay. So now coming back to the Elantra, actually. Are there going to be any out of the box or a different sort of approach to marketing a mainstream sedan back in this market in these challenging environments where everyone seems to be trying to pick up larger numbers with price discounting and getting into basically trade-offs where they're comparing directly with market leaders. So is there going to be a different approach to Elantra, or are you just positioning it as the Elantra was all along?
I think we're gonna do more. The car itself is fantastic, and I think most importantly, to give experience to the prospect buyers. So we're going to be very proactive in terms of offering test drive, and so not necessarily in the showroom, but every touch point of the prospective buyers, and we're going to do the communication, very effective communication. So the most of the communication has been done through our distributor, but from the corporate point of view, we're going to be more aggressive communication to get to more customers, to reach pan-Arab communications, and we're going to be very active with our fleet buyers.
Okay.
So maybe we are still think about more creative ways on the way, right? And we see some other opportunities. In the market we never active. So putting all those things
All of those together,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we firmly believe we're going to be quite successful.
But I was quite impressed with the morning's presentation with the feature packs which the car will launch with, especially in terms of its lighting, the proximity sensors for the rear reversing and all of those. But by offering the car with such a high specification, would the car then go into a price segment where you're not used to selling the Elantra?
I think we have been always very competitive. So it's a matter of a combination of the package, right? So we're going to develop a few other packages, more the customer accessible to the product and more affordable.
Yeah. And how much of a percentage of your volume does Elantra?
Elantra is almost 20%, 23% of our total sales.
Wow, so that's really significant. Yeah? Thank you very much, Mr. Kim,
You're very welcome.
for the time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.